and stress management. Now, you may be wondering, does the food really affect your mood? The answer is 100% yes. Our nutrition program is powered by Healthy Steps Nutrition. At Healthy Steps Nutrition, we believe something as fundamental as nutrition should not be complicated, which is why we focus on a simple habit-based approach to help you reach your goals, one step at a time. Today is all about food, mood, and stress, and really about how all of these things work together to affect your health. You may be wondering, outside of feeling hangry, how does the food we eat affect your mood? Well, many studies have shown that diets high in fruits and vegetables, modest in lean protein, and avoid of many processed sugars and foods is associated with a 25 to 35% lower risk of depression when compared to a typical westernized diet. The westernized diet, also known as the standard American diet, is typically high in processed foods, red meats, sugar, fat, and often highlights prepackaged or convenient foods. After the holidays, I would find myself always feeling those post-holiday blues. After some research, I found that I was not alone in these feelings. While part of that low mood and energy may be from the hustle and the bustle the season brings, we need to consider how the foods associated with holidays that lead to overconsumption may play a role in that. In a study published in a psychology and cognitive neuroscience focused journal, researchers found that in as little as 1 week, eating a Western diet can significantly alter brain function, with the participants of the study doing worse on learning and memory tests. Further, the Western diet was tied to overeating and increased cravings of sugary treats after consuming a regular meal. How many of us can relate to thinking about reaching for something sweet right after finishing a meal? Additionally, this study found that these participants had experienced an impact in their hippocampus due to their diet, which is responsible for things like emotions, learning, and motivation. Wow, it's no wonder when we start to get into the habit of making not the best food choices. It is hard to start making the right choices on our own. So why and how is this happening? Serotonin may be a familiar term when you think of our mood. Serotonin is often known as the happiness hormone. But did you know that this hormone impacts our entire body, affecting things like sleep, eating, feelings, or mood and digestion? Even further, did you know that a vast majority of our serotonin receptors are located in our gut? Newer research is finding that the balance of good and bad bacteria in our gut is directly related to our diet and has a connection with diseases, including depression and anxiety. So what these findings are telling us is that when we are making the choice to eat a balanced diet, the balance of our gut, which is directly related to our mood, gets compromised, leading us to feel more sad and more unmotivated. Now that we know our food is truly playing a role in our mood, here's what you can start doing to find not only your healthiest version of yourself, but also the happiest version. Here you see something called the plate method. The plate method is one of the easiest and most effective methods for improving your diet. By eating a balanced meal of high quality foods, you can utilize this method to incorporate all of your favorite foods and recipes in your day. You want to start reconstructing your plate to have healthy, non-starchy vegetables such as broccoli, green beans, asparagus, and zucchini, to name a few. Next, you want to have about a palm or quarter of your plate covered with lean proteins such as seafood, chicken, or turkey, leaving the last quarter of your plate for those starchy carbohydrates like potatoes, fruit, rice, and breads. Along with highly processed foods affecting our serotonin response, let's take a moment to specifically talk about sugar in the body. Our brains require glucose or sugar for energy. In fact, this organ in our body is the most energy demanding organ and uses nearly half of all our sugar we consume. But just like anything, too much of something becomes a problem. Have you ever had a sweet treat and within the next hour or so felt a mental fog and even decreased happiness leading to cravings? You aren't crazy. That is the actual effect excess sugar has on our bodies. When we consume high amounts of sugar, our blood sugar surges up, which is followed by a crash. Research has found a relationship between this high and crash of our blood sugars and mood disorders such as depression, anxiety, as well as learning and memory functions. How is sugar causing this? Sugar suppresses an important hormone called BDNF. This particular hormone has been found in lower levels in individuals with depression and other mental disorders, such as schizophrenia. We also know that sugar promotes the inflammatory response in our body, and when consumed in high amounts consistently, it can become chronic inflammation, which impacts our immune system and brain. This may also lead to the connection between sugar consumption and depression. Further, we know that the inflammation response after consuming a diet high in sugar may also worsen anxiety symptoms by impairing the body's natural ability to cope with stress. Sugar has been known to cause blurred vision, difficulty thinking, fatigue due to the crash, which is similar to what panic attack may feel like for some individuals. While sugar itself does not cause anxiety, research has established a correlation between sugar consumption and anxiety. Or in other words, diets high in sugar may exacerbate actual stress as well as feelings of increased stress. Lastly, the studies have shown the effects of sugar on memory. High amounts of sugar in the body can cause insulin resistance, which damages the communication between brain cells that are fueled by sugar needed for learning and memory in our day. If you want to hear more about sugar, be sure to listen to episode 50 of the Nutrition Made Simple podcast. While sugar hides almost everywhere, here are two easy areas you can start to identify and swap out excess sugar in your day. Balanced snacks should be treated like meals. Do they have a good source of protein, carbs, and fat? Take a look at these few options and commit to trying one this week. Another area sugar sneaks its way into our day is through beverages. Rather than reaching for sodas, lattes, or juice, aim to drink more water. If you struggle to drink more water, try adding some of these amazing water combos for a refreshed experience. Watermelon and cucumber and mint, lemon and lime, orange citrus, any fresh berries and herbs that sounds good. So far, we have talked about how your food is affecting your mood, but let's shift gears to talk about something that too often goes unnoticed during our health and wellness journey: stress management. We live in a world that constantly throws stress at us, but have you taken the time to consider how it affects your health? We know that increased stress leads to increased cortisol in the body. These higher levels of cortisol lead to increased blood sugar and inflammation, suppress immune system, and decrease nutrient metabolism. Studies also show that increased levels of stress may also cause weight gain and water retention, high blood pressure, fatigue, changes in mood causing irritability, and insulin resistance, which we briefly talked about earlier. It is clear that while stress often flies under the radar in our journey, we need to take control of this if we want to increase our overall health and mood. While stress isn't as simple to navigate around like sugary beverages, we can work on proper stress management techniques. Practicing mindfulness when presented with stressors give us alternative ways to process and handle what is happening. Whenever you're feeling stressed, practice stop to become more mindful. Stop stands for slowing down, taking a breath, observing what you're feeling in your body, such as what you're thinking and what other responsibilities exist. And lastly, proceed considering multiple possibilities. Taking the time during stressful moments to stop and become more mindful will help you navigate your mindset. Here are 5 other tips for managing your stress that may work for you. Exercise, start a daily journal, meditation or yoga, talking with your support system, practicing mindfulness. If you are or have ever felt like you were in a slump or navigating excess amounts of stress, now is the time to take control of your health and work with a professional to help you find the best balanced foods and mindfulness techniques to help you reach your short and long-term goals. Be sure to schedule a free intro to chat with me or Coach Rachel about our habit-based approach that focuses on creating an individualized plan just for you. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today to learn all about how food, stress, and your mood are intertwined.